Hey there, everybody. Welcome once again to part one of our end of the year Best of 2017 special. I'm your host, Pete Pardo from Tranquility. I am surrounded here by the mecca of metal here in Orange County, New York. We've got Steve Keeler, owner of Rock Fantasy. We are actually in Rock Fantasy once again.
We are here live at the world-famous Rock Fantasy concert shop and whatever else.
Nick Franco in the middle from SOT and Metal Injection and Cryptic Rock. And then we've got Ryan Skow
from Goshen,
the king of underground metal.
Goshen.
So what we're going to do, we do this every year, guys. So this is basically us. We're going to various...
We're missing Bush Jones.
Yeah, Bush Jones did not make it today. But some of us are going to do top 10, top 15. Steve's going to do a top 20. As you know, I'm going to do my number 11 through 20. And then in a couple days, right at Christmas Eve, you're going to get my top 10 of the year. So we're going to start... Steve Keeler's going to start off this year. Steve's got a lot of great-looking LPs here. He's going to
I got everything in LP form. I got some props for everyone. And this could probably be in all different orders. I mean, some days I might want to listen to number 5 more. Depends on the day. But I picked the top 20.
Your order fluid.
The order could be anything. Number 20, Paradise Lost, Medusa. Anybody wants to put a word on it, they can. It's the latest release from them. A little bit heavier than the last couple offerings from them, I'd say. Just a strong album.
From a strong band.
And then from Sweden, from Germany.
Germany.
Cadaver.
Yeah.
Rough Times?
Rough
Hard
Times.
Times.
You gotta show the back art there, too.
Show the back art.
That's a very 1970s band photo.
What do you consider this? What type of music?
Psychedelic stoner.
Yeah,
it's in my top as well. They're just
thick, slabby bass guitar.
heavy stoner,
catchy.
Doom, hard rock, 70s hard rock,
in the same
psychedelia.
vein with like Graveyard and Blues Fills and
Hard Son,
Rival Sons.
Yeah, a lot of
I think
those.
a step up.
Maybe a step up. Probably my only folk metal album in the top 20 this year from Enslaved.
Solid.
And Two Pass. I think they're going to tour the States in 2018 from what I gathered. You can look at the back. Skow said we should show the back of each cover. Each album, rather. Front and back. My good friends from New York City, Suffocation. That would be, I'm losing track now because what's that? It's number 19. It's number 17 would be
Thereabouts.
Suffocation. The new album of the Dark Light.
For some strange reason, I did not hear this album this year.
He didn't even hear it.
No,
I'm
it's very strange.
It's like Stump in the Trunk.
A stump in the trunk?
And I don't usually put live albums in my top 20, but I am.
Yeah.
Because this could even be maybe number 1 album.
That's pretty great. Yeah, it's a great live album.
This just captures Mayhem doing the Devasterious, Stom, Satanus, Alive, which I saw 3 times this year.
I think everybody in this room saw that at least once. Yep.
Yeah, Chance and St. Vitus.
This was our Rock Fantasy 31st anniversary
February.
bash with Inquisition and Black Anvil.
Yep.
At the Chance, I just caught this December 5th with the Mighty Immolation and Black Anvil also. It's just a solid, I guess, capturing the moment album. I guess I could have put the Black Sabbath and the Iron Maiden in too, but I didn't. And the next one, we're up to number... If you're counting at home, I don't know, you might want to yell out and let us know.
I can't get
Belphegor
There you go.
from Austria. The Toten Ritual. I caught these guys back in, I think,
I love Steve's metal.
October.
I love it too.
Was it
That's the
October?
reason why I come.
Was it October? You were there, right?
Nope.
You weren't at that one. You're at most everything I see.
True.
And this is something that Nick would probably like too.
Love the label, Lupus Lounge.
Farsot. The new album.
German too, I believe.
They had Failure. And very, very black metal ambience, I guess, and a little bit of folk metal mixed in.
I can honestly say I've never heard of that band.
They're a very strong band. They've done the real sprawling black metal, and they've done some, they went in a progressive direction, and then now they're back to, I think, more of the sprawling.
And coming in at number, we're hiding our thing, number 13.
13.
The Mighty.
Yep. It's a good one.
Overkill.
One of
The
the better thrash
Grinding
albums.
Wheel with some very strong
Yes.
songs in here. Our Finest Hour, Goddamn Trouble. Just, they've been around forever. Bobby Blitz is still pouring his heart out on stage, and
One of those classic thrash bands that just.
this
still
could even
keep
be
going.
higher on my list because I listen to it a lot over the years. We play a lot in the
Bobby
store.
Blitz
Listen
I
to
will
D
say
Burnett this whole time.
Overkill deserves a big 4 spot now in 2000.
Much better. This
I think that's just my opinion.
out of thrash metal,
Sorry.
out of thrash metal, and you want to count this year? This album is much better than Metallica
Post millennial.
or
It's
Anthrax.
They deserve it.
I'm not an Anthrax fan.
Overkill
either.
deserves a lot more credit. I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
And
Totally
coming
agree.
in at number 12, my buddies from Tampa, Florida, Obituary, with another album, strong Tampa, Florida death metal.
Classic.
Terry Butler, who was in Death, is in the band, and I actually met him at a show this year. Gave him a Rock Fantasy shirt, which he wore when he was in Death. So it was a cool little thing for him to actually request a shirt. They were opening for Creator at the time. And we are coming up on number, I think we might have lost count here, but we are at Satyricon.
A very good comeback album.
I didn't even want to listen to it.
No,
at first.
I've been very disenchanted with them, and I was surprised at how good this was.
And then I think Nick Franco said, listen. He said, listen.
I may be speaking about this in a couple minutes.
And I did listen. And played a lot in the shop. And I believe we're up to number 10 now. Number 10 is a band that I discovered while going to a show in Poughkeepsie. They opened up for Black Dahlia Murder, Suffocation, Decrepit Birth, Necron.
Great album.
And describe it.
Total old school,
Yeah.
excellent death metal.
It's like
No
death
fuss,
metal,
no
maybe a
nonsense.
little black metal mixed in
Just
with it.
solid
at times.
death metal.
Yeah. Great guys. We hung out. I bought some records for them. I sold them in the store. And
Gotta love that cover.
Yeah,
That's
it's
as old school as it gets,
kind of
right?
like a
Great
death,
band.
almost
Great-
like a death album.
Yeah, I was
cover,
gonna say it
right?
looks like
Great live
Rico's
band, too.
artwork.
Ghouls waiting in
Looks
the
like you
back.
came up to him and say, I
Quite
found this
Christmassy,
baby.
actually.
What do I do with this baby?
What you want we should do with this?
Now coming in at number 9,
Ah, this album rules too.
and I tell you what, I don't really listen to hardcore much. I have in the past, but this album,
You make an exception for these
I
guys.
definitely
Living
do,
where we
and
do.
I'm good friends with these guys. They've been around almost as long as the store, all at war.
That's some of the heaviest stuff.
Orange
I've ever
County,
done.
New York.
Yeah,
And
almost
it's,
Extinction.
you know, it's,
It is
it's,
heavy as
uh,
hell.
it's hardcore, but yet the Slayer riffs are constant.
They've always had that, but
Of
this
course.
is as heavy as they've ever been.
It's very good, and I
punishing.
feel bad I didn't get to go see him Saturday per chance. And Mike actually delivered these
Mhm.
to the store.
I
So.
think you'd like that.
Yeah, I think so. I used to like
Plus,
that back in the 90s.
from Newburgh.
Another band
right.
that I found from going to a show, most of the time I hear modern day thrash. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool to watch,
A
but
lot of buzz
this
on these
album
guys.
really, and their performance, really, I thought it was great. Power Trip. I don't have the actual one, only in picture disc. I don't know if they made this album in any other form. But solid thrash metal for 2017.
Agreed.
And you've heard it before. And we are up to I believe, number 7. Another Tampa death metal. Cannibal Corpse. Back.
Can't
with
miss
another
album.
Strong album.
Yeah.
Red Before Black. You might say they probably all sound quite a lot like the last few albums, but
I may be the only person that does not like him.
he does not like
I
I haven't
respect
heard
them.
this album.
I respect
It's
them.
good. You know what?
They're good at
It's
they
really
do.
brutal and it's kind of catchy too. It's a good
They've always had
solid
that
album.
quality.
So that
Yeah.
was number 7 of 2017. But it could be number 20. Number 20 could be number 7. So like I said before, it depends on which
Throwing the
day.
math off.
Yeah.
Throwing these numbers
The math's hard.
And number 6, one of my
Yeah.
favorite bands, and Skow doesn't like them anymore, but I still like them. They're much more melodic than they were in the early days.
Oh, I don't need to
But
beat that horse.
Still pretty.
Gods
raging,
of
though.
Violence,
Yeah.
some very strong songs on here. Army of Storms, Hail of the Hordes, Satan is Real, The Totalitarian Terror is very good. I tried it.
Wait, Satan's real?
He is real
Sounds
according,
like an old gospel.
according to Mill. We'll even show you the inside. Look
Look
at
at that.
There's Creator hanging out with a bunch of girls.
And
And
me over them. Hello.
are you in there, Nick? Hey, there's Nick.
Whoa, there's nudity right there.
Look at that.
It's inappropriate for my eyes.
Put that away.
All right, so we're moving up the list now. We're up to number 5.
Wow,
A
that's
band that I
ranking pretty high
wasn't
here.
really into years ago, and I used to see them open up for a million bands. I really like this album, though. Play it quite a bit. Black Anvil. New York black metal. So another local kind of thing. I've saw these guys probably 3 or 4 times this year too, because they opened up for Mayhem every time.
Play a
Mayhem
lot
comes
of
out.
shows.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember
A lot
seeing
of
them with like Immortal
We saw him.
at the Brooklyn Armory or Sonic Temper, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We saw him at that show.
We're climbing into the top 5. Mastodon, Emperor of Sand. Not the heaviest album in my top 20 by any means, but just dig the record.
Quite good.
Listened to it a lot earlier in the year, so figured it would be included. And maybe it is a little higher than it could be, but who knows. Number 3, a band that's hung out and partied in this room, and from Louisiana, the Mighty Gohort. Strong record, I thought. Made it into the top 3. Saw them live with Venom. Great performance at St. Vitus. And I don't know if it's making anybody else's list, but I like it a lot. Now this next album could actually be number 1. It flips-flop back and forth.
It's great.
I had to sit
It's their best in quite a few years, I'd say.
The Mighty
Absolutely.
Immolation. Top death metal album of the year for sure.
I agree.
And we just saw them play with Mayhem. Nick was there.
Nick was that.
There's no denying
Look, we'll show you the
Bob
back.
Vigner's guitar.
Ah.
There's no denying.
They are coming back in 2018. They're going to be doing a supporting tour in the States again. I'm not sure who they're supporting. And they also said that they were going to do something because I guess it is their 30th anniversary.
30 years.
I
I'm
was
still
t-
hoping to see them headline St. Vitus one day.
I don't know. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. But.
One day.
They're amazing.
And our number 1 album
Dun,
of the
dun,
year.
dun.
It could. I think these guys have been number 1 in the past.
They have, yeah.
Enslaved. And is it an M or is it a 3? It's an M, right?
It's an
It's an E.
It's an E.
Yeah.
But it's not. But it's only an E if you do it that
It's
way.
whatever you want to do.
Whatever
It's
you want it to be.
M3E, but another strong record from them, and that's an album I like to listen to. I like to listen and relax after work with. It's just something you can.
It's a little bit of everything on it.
prog and
Black metal.
metal
a
and-
little bit of
Yeah.
ambiance stuff. And it's just
oh,
everything.
plenty of ambiance
Yeah.
with nice vocals. Then his vocals.
Did you say the new keyboard player's got a great voice? I was
I-
kind of worried because
yeah,
the last guy was
exactly.
great and,
And
fits right
it
in.
doesn't really miss a beat. They
No.
found a young guy, and they said it was much easier than they thought it was going to be too.
Yeah.
Because they really are like, what are we going to do? And then all of a sudden, they found a guy like that.
Yeah.
It fits in perfectly. So.
So thanks,
So-
Steve, for that. We're going to see a lot of repeated stuff.
We will
Won't go
see.
away.
We will
Yeah.
see.
Mr. Franco, you're up next.
What you got, buddy? I have no props, is what I got. So you'll
You
have to
need
just
me?
listen to my
You
stupid
want to
face.
borrow one of these?
Yeah, probably. Well, at number 10 for me, I had the Satyricon album, Deep Calleth Upon Deep. Again, if you would have asked me at the beginning of the year if I would have had a Satyricon album anywhere near my top list, I would have laughed and punched you. No. But
Only the resort to violence.
yeah, that's true. But, again, a band that I gave up on has turned around and crafted a really, really strong, engaging album. And one of the most enjoyable things about it is listening to Frost play his drum parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he just absolute mastery of the kit. He's not just supporting the songs; he's booing them. He's really all over the place and really great. Every song you can really get into and really feel. So good for them. The next one, I wish I had the album with me because it's a tough one to say, is a black metal band called Whoredom Rife. Like whore, Whoredom, Whoredom Rife.
Say the name of the album.
Dummet Dagskvad.
That's
There
a
you
great
go.
album, too. Excellent album.
Yeah, I discovered them not too long ago, and Norwegian black metal steeped in the second wave with the right elements of everything that you want in that sound. Great production. The guy's a killer voice. If you like black metal, they are unreal. They're from Norway, and young band too. I think pretty young. After that, as was mentioned before, the Cadaver album, Rough Times. I am not a big stoner metal fan. Hardly at all.
I'm surprised that made your list.
Yeah, it absolutely. It's one of the most crushing bass tones, and the riffs are there. Yet it's catchy and fun, and really check it out. I mean,
Yep.
it's and it'll appeal to people who aren't just into death metal either. And then after that, I can thank this guy for getting me into Akarantas. Yeah,
That must be that
from
guy,
Greece.
not this guy, because I don't know who that is.
No, but you should. You should.
You should have seen him at
Marta.
St. Vitus.
There's a lot of black metal bands that get a lot of credit, and some of them I don't understand. Then there's bands that don't get hardly any credit, and Acarantes is one of them. It's probably because the members distance themselves from any scene-related shenanigans or involvement at all. I've read interviews with them, and they're like, we don't get involved with all that. But seek them out if you like atmospheric, occultic black metal. They have some chanting parts, and their transitions from blast to slow to... They really know what they're doing. They've made a lot of albums.
Thanks to Vinny from Signature Riff for booking their first ever U.S. show, which we saw in October.
I was up front with him for.
Excellent,
It was amazing,
excellent show.
Amazing. And then I have Iced Earth, the American traditional metal band Iced Earth. Another band.
You told me this new album's good. I still have to check it out.
Again, another band that
one song.
I didn't. There it is. Yep. I didn't necessarily give up on Iced Earth, but their past few releases did not move me.
I agree.
All of a sudden, I turn on Incorruptible, and I feel like it's back in 99, 2000. And it's all about the songs. The songwriting is top notch. It gives you that feeling like the old days. It's excellent songs.
Vocals are great.
Yep, Stu Block, who I think he comes from a band called Into Eternity. I believe he's Canadian.
Yeah.
Stu, the first few albums, he kind of sounded like he was trying to be Matt Barlow. Now he's, I think, a little more comfortable.
He's being Stu Block.
And he's great, and he sounds wonderful.
The songs weren't there for a couple albums.
They just weren't. They weren't. But whatever. I think John Schaefer, the main...
Really dumb concert shirts, too.
Oh, you.
I remember some of those.
The main songwriter got some neck surgery. I think he's just feeling better, and it just shows. They just sound so fresh and so good. Then I had to give some love to my Portuguese metal masters, Moonspell.
Yes.
Their album 1755.
That's a good one.
It's a return to the roots in terms of their culture. It's a song about their Portuguese culture, sung entirely in their native tongue.
It is all in their native tongue. I think I don't know if I got around that. Just listening to it, it wasn't.
It's different.
It's tough. Yeah.
Their last album had so many cool gothic metal flavorings. It was so catchy.
The last one, I think,
But the
was
symphonic nature of this new album is so good. My God, the arrangements are
the
just
guy who arranged the
unbelievable.
orchestras commented on my review, and like said, "Oh, I was the guy that did that," and he works with Amorphous also. Great work.
Okay.
So definitely check it out. Very, very hard to pin down what kind of music too. Katla from Iceland. Katla's album is called Katla. The album is called Moderasten, and it's probably not pronounced that way because there's about 3 Icelandic letters in it, and that language does not mess around. Anyway, Katla features the ex-drummer of Solstafir, another more popular Icelandic band, and his name is Gudmundur Palmason. I probably messed it up. If I did, I apologize. Anyway, a little more straightforward than Solstafir, a little ballsier than Solstafir, a little more direct. I don't know what you would call this music. It's melodic and catchy. It rips at times, but not. It's smooth. It goes down smooth. It's probably like sliding down a glacier in Iceland.
Goes down smooth like a nice glass of bourbon, right?
Yeah, no, really good, really catchy songs.
A fine glass of scotch.
Yeah, and in my top 10, the biggest sword to the throat in this list is an all-female. Oh, Mom, I'm here. Is an all-female black metal band called Asagram, and they are 3 ladies. I don't want to get this wrong. One is from the Netherlands, one is from Norway, and I think one is Canadian. Either that or they relocated. Doesn't matter. The 3 of them get together, and this is, I think, their debut album. It's called Potestas Magicum Diaboli.
Alrighty.
Nice earful, yeah. Ripping second wave black metal. I can't say enough good things. The vocalist, I will refrain from saying her name because I'm not sure if I have it right. They're all in other projects. Check them all out. They're all in other bands. Her voice is such an icy shriek. It's so good. Check it out. If you like Fortress, if you like old Gorgoroth, that old early Scandinavian darkness.
You like Fortress?
Yeah, they're maybe not as anthemic, but they're right there. Really, really good stuff. 3 women, pretty amazing. Then my penultimate album is something you might not consider metal, but the female vocalist is Chelsea Wolfe. She's a songwriter from California.
You've been raving about her all year.
Yes, she is getting more and more into the realm of metal as she goes along. It's a very gradual process. She is a fan of metal. She can play it. And her album is called Hiss Spun. And it's just all of the negativity and darkness from within and without. This woman just left out, nothing, no punches pulled. I mean, it's really emotional, very driven material. And it can be really heavy at times. She can make really heavy sounds with bass tones and keyboard tones. And it's just, really good stuff. And then her voice comes in. It sounds like that. No, it sounds like an angel. Doesn't sound like that. It sounds like an angel coming down. I mean, she's just unbelievable. Check her out. And then my number one album also is Enslaved, the album E. Yes, what hasn't been said about them? They've synthesized the elements of Viking metal, black metal, and progressive metal, and they, you can hear Rush, you can hear Floyd, you can hear black metal.
Viking.
Wow!
You can look at your Thor Blacklight poster.
There you go. Just effortless. This band just effortlessly creates music. You listen to the album, and if you're an Enslaved fan, it feels familiar, but it's pushing them forward without compromising anything. And as Pete mentioned, the new guy, the keyboard player, not only fills the shoes of the old one, but his voice is incredible.
Yes.
And there you go.
We got 2 number ones.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw that.
Yeah, that's not happening now, right?
2 honorable mentions. I didn't.
That's
I
a good
left
one.
on the counter. New Winter's Sun, 4 Seasons.
That's quite good.
Did not make the top 20, but could be in it. And the new Semi.
One of my favorites. They're on my greater list, which
Yep. So anyhow, I just had those there. So I can put it in front of you. Sorry.
Sorry, Steve. This is your store.
It is.
I've got a 15. I could not narrow it down. I thought there was so much good underground metal this year. Actually, this is going to sound sick, but I came up with a top 100.
And I won't even know.
Wow, you did more than me. I usually have a hard time doing 50.
I don't have one.
I had a top 40.
I know you did.
I just went to my iTunes account and not saw everything I bought this year.
Well, I mean, Taylor Swift.
Bought a lot
Taylor
of music.
Swift.
Sorry, Taylor.
So what do we got?
All right, this is all summoned deep from the metal underground. It's all favorites of Stevie here. Number 15 from the West Coast is Weregoat with Pestilential Rites of Infernal Fornication. It's just total, straight up, old school, satanic black death, like early deicide, blasphemy, just nasty, big spikes, blood everywhere.
Sounds like
virgins, Satan, all kinds of.
It's driving to church music.
Exactly.
There you go.
Everything you like in late 80s, early 90s satanic black and death metal.
Beautiful.
Number 14 is actually not metal. It's from the Vomit Arsonist from Rhode Island. Meditations on Giving Up Completely. It's an ambient noise album. I put this on my headphones when I'm going to bed, and it's just so somber and depressing. It feels like I'm just going to dissolve into the mattress. It's a very dark, sullen, very.
You got bad dreams.
It does, in a good way, though, Stevie. In a good way. Number 13 from New Zealand's Vassifor Malediction. Just excellent churning black. I think I showed you those guys, right? Just excellent churning black death, long 18, 20, 25-minute songs. Awesome, though. Just great band. Good headphones, music in a dark room again, too.
Yep.
Number 12 from favorite band from New York City right now. Contemporary band. Immolation's my all-time favorite. But favorite band from New York City right now is Throat, Reflections in Darkness. It's old school, black metal, like Merciful Fate, Master's Hammer kind of stuff. It has that very late 80s, early 90s black metal.
Yeah, check them out.
It's almost, like good Foggy Cemetery. Like, I know that's kind of a cliche image.
I live next to a Foggy Cemetery.
But when that imagery is done right and, the perfect, setting for black metal, that's kind of what it is.
It's not what I thought they were. I got to check them out.
No, I think you'd like them. It's good stuff. Number 11, this is a mouthful. This is from Kolkata, India. It's the noisiest and most violent album I heard all year. It's Tetragrammaticide, Primal Incinerators of Moral Matrix. It just sounds like pure hell.
These
It's
album
awesome.
names are
It is
fantastic.
If you like Conqueror, Blasphemy, Revenge, Axis of Advance, Diocletian, like that kind of metal, this is perfect. Number 10 from Chicago is Satan's Hallow. It's awesome classic traditional metal.
They're in my top 40.
The vocals remind me like the best of 70s Heart.
It's a video game.
Satan's Hallow, yeah. It's actually that's a great
It's a
video game.
stand-up video game.
Darren used to have it.
Yeah, he did actually.
They're very good.
Awesome
Sorry.
band. Yeah, no, if you like
True
70s,
metal spirit.
70s Heart vocals combined with old Warlock, old
Wow.
you'd actually like them.
it.
You
Yeah,
would actually love them, I think.
Wow.
I'm going to send you that
Yeah,
tomorrow.
you told me about them. Blew me away.
Number 9 from Germany, the Runes of Beverist. These guys, to me, like how everybody was describing Enslaved, this is that band for me. It's like somber, epic, very long. Have you heard them?
briefly.
I will send them over.
They're very consistent.
It's very consistent.
Yeah.
It's just
intense
music.
You know that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Didn't they play MDF?
They did a couple of years ago.
I think I saw their set.
Number 8 from Belgium. I saw their first ever U.S. show this year in Houston at the Shrine, Texas. Is Possession with I'm gonna butcher this name. Ezokinzine. I think it's Exorcism. And I'm just slaughtering. I won't even try. Again, it's like old school black death metal, which seems to be a theme here. It's obviously something I'm very fond of.
Never gets old.
No, it's just an awesome band in that style. Very good songwriting. Doesn't get redundant or boring at all. Number 7. This one is awesome. This is Pagan Altar, The Room of Shadows. One of the best classic, my favorite new wave British heavy metal band from years ago. Their vocalist Terry passed away a couple of years ago from cancer, unfortunately. The album looked like it was never going to come out. And a good friend of mine, Anik Giro from Montreal, she was able to release this album. It has the vocalist from the Boston band Magic Circle. I believe one of the guitarists or bassists too. So they were able to pull the band together and get this. I'm mistaken, he actually sang on the live show. Terry's vocals are on the album. So they were able to salvage demo recordings of his vocals and get this album out. But what I messed up in my head was I saw them play a final show in Montreal in September, and they had the guy from Magic Circle singing, and it was, I don't want to say like tears were coming to my eyes watching the band, but it was like that kind of moment. You know, you're watching it like, it's just one of those things you never thought you'd get to see again. It was intense. Number 6 from
Slovakia.
Yeah,
I was going to say
Slovenia or Slovakia.
They're on my top 40 also.
These guys, where they This is Malo Carpetan with Nord Carpetan Land. This is like, you would actually love this. I'll say this to you. This is like classic Judas Priest speed metal mixed with like Master's Hammer, early Merciful Fate, like early black metal. And all the lyrics are about Slovakian mythology and like trolls and elves in kind of a lighthearted manner. But the music is just, it's like Stained Class mixed with like Ritual of Master Hammer. It's awesome.
They are.
I've seen this on top 10 lists all over. I think everybody in this room would actually like it.
Yeah, they're in my top 40.
Number 5 from New Zealand's Hersiarch Death Ordinance. Just straight up freaking war metal. Just nonstop Black Death about, it just sounds like a bunch of tanks rolling over
here. Out of all the bands that he has showed me in that vein, they, to me, are head and shoulders. To me, I am in love with that album. It really is like what it feels like to be run over by a goddamn tank.
It's like, you know what? It's like both thrower on that.
Exactly. Sounds like something I want to do tomorrow, right?
Yeah. I don't know about your Toyota.
But in a good way.
Actually, shouldn't speak of that. Someone that got hit by a car once. No, it's like both thrower on meth. It's just that militant, like grinding sound.
So
just,
good.
Full speed ahead. Number 4 from England is Craven Idol. The Shackles of Mammon, just awesome black thrash. You like Niflheim, Destroyer 666, Disaster.
I like those.
You like those bands? Then you're going to like these guys. Great leads, like that good songwriting. It doesn't get bogged down where it's kind of like the primitive like Venom style, which I love. Mm-hmm. But these guys are more the Destroyer vein, where you have those great lead guitar, good songwriting, good solid production. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I like the Destroyer vein.
Number 3 from Chicago, previously from Mexico, is The Chasm. Conscious creation from the Isolated Domain, one of the longest running.
They're excited about them.
I know.
Yeah.
One of the best bands, one of my favorite metal bands of all time. They've been around since I think the early '90s. Tons of great albums, just adventurous, almost progressive death metal. This one is a instrumental album because their previous vocalist Daniel just didn't want to do like harsh vocals anymore, so they wrote a straight up instrumental death metal album, and it doesn't suffer at all. This guy.
You don't see that too often.
No. This is one of those guys that just has a never-ending supply of riffs. It's like Bob from Immolation or, like that caliber guitars. Just comes up with great riffs, The classic.
That's my Bob imitation.
I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but this list is alphabetical. It's not really in any order of top 10 because I couldn't order anything. Here's a great album or band name. Number 2 from Gothenburg, Sweden is Bestiality. Ooh. That's a great name. It's Worshippers of Unholy Perversions.
It's also a crime.
You'd be surprised. Actually, it is a crime. Yeah. And it's just raw, old-school black thrash. Not so much like Craven Idol, which is more polished. This is more primitive, like Sodom, early creator. Sorry, Steve. Endless Pain kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Very primitive. Number 1 from San Diego, I believe, is Send the Dead, Abhorrent Manifestation, which is just, for me, it's probably the best straight-up pure death metal album of the year. Or top 3. Immolation was up there, too, even though I didn't include them. Just excellent, just solid death metal. No jokes, no joking around, just fucking punishing. Good stuff.
Like to be
That's
punished.
all I got.
Cool.
I know you do.
Poor Immolation.
Alrighty.
I'm sorry.
All right, so
Rob might be watching.
I guess it's up to me to close this out here. I'm going to just kind of squeeze in a little bit. All right. So, like I said, I'm going to do number 11 through 20. You'll get my top 10 in a couple days. So we're going to start at number 20, and this came up on Nick's list. Iced Earth, Incorruptible. I totally agree. It's a good return to form for them. I just think it clicks on all levels for me. Great vocals, great songs. The riffs are great. What's not to
I'm
like?
going to check
there,
this
you know?
out. There's 2 you guys recommended.
Yeah, it's quite good. This next one is from a band from South America. They're called Daydream XI, The Circus of the Tattered and the Torn. This is a fantastic theatrical progressive metal album. Great riffs, amazing guitar playing. Just the vocals are like off the charts. It's complex, it's heavy. It's at times it's just weird as all hell. I dig it a lot. This is on the Sensory record label. All right, going to number 18, Emperor of the Sand, Mastodon. Steve and I were having a conversation a couple weeks ago, and he goes, "That Mastodon's going to show up on your top list, right?" I was like, "It's going to be up there somewhere. I'm not really quite sure where yet, but it did make its way into the top 20. I dig it. It's good. I don't, maybe not as heavy as some of their other ones, but certainly they got back to doing some of the prog stuff.
Good
I think.
songwriting.
Yeah, as
In
always.
fact, the topic on that album was all the whole album it's almost like a concept album. It was done about his mom was dying of cancer.
Yeah, actually, a couple of guys in the band were having.
And he wrote this album at her bedside.
Yeah.
There's been, I think the main guy in the band is married to Laura Pleasance from Kailasa, one of my favorite bands. And they stopped operations for a little while as she endured some heavy loss in the family. I wonder if it was connected or if they're just getting really hit.
And they wanted to find the cancer, the disease, and that, so they came up with that character.
Yep.
And that was the devil, the demon or the cancer or the illness that they wanted to put.
It's pretty
a
heavy
picture
stuff.
to it,
Yeah, lyrically, it's pretty heavy. So,
Yeah.
number 17, Jorn, Life on Death Road. Jorn Landi, singer extraordinaire from Norway. This is just a blistering hard rock album. He's got a bunch of guys from Primal Fear on it. It's just like an all-star band, and it's just great. One anthem after another. Killer guitar work, outstanding vocals. Love it, love it. All right, I'm all over the place here, just like kind of everybody is here. All right, so this next one, never heard of this band before. A couple guys on SOT were raving about it, and I was like, I got to check it out. They're from Britain. They're called Cats in Space. The album's called Scarecrow. If you like 70s style Queen, Styx, Kansas, 10cc, that sort of thing, Supertramp, tons of catchy hooks. It's proggy, it's poppy, it's melodic, it's hard rocking. It's just
I'm going to check that out.
It's really really good stuff. I mean, the songs are just so memorable.
The back
And,
album cover almost looks like an Iron Maiden.
yeah, right, doesn't it?
A little bit. Like
70s Kansas. I'm fucking
somewhere in time.
No violin, but you'll some of like the vocal harmonies. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Number 15, About Time from Horisont, Swedish 70s style hard rock. Love these guys. Just another really strong album from them. Great grooves, just bleed 70s all over. It's just,
Still wish I got to see that, but I couldn't make the show in New York. I still regret it.
Yeah, I wish I did too. It's a great album. I like all their releases. Very, very cool. Number 14, you talk about new wave of British heavy metal. You got a lot of young bands kind of doing that style now. I think one of the best at it is this band called Night Demon. Darkness Remains. They are a killer trio. This is just ripping classic early 80s metal. Flying V guitar, bass, killer drumming, just neck snapping tunes. They're catchy. There's tons of explosive guitar work. This is as good as it gets. Their last one was great. This is just as good. Love them, love them, love them.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's really good. I highly recommend it. Number 13. All right, Creator also pops up on my list. I got a different cover than Steve does. I just always like these guys. And yeah, they're not as kind of raw and uncompromising as they used to be, but still heavy enough and just a little catchier. It's just good, German thrash. Can't beat it. It's as solid as all hell. Number 12, Actually, this was kind of a little bit higher earlier in the year, but a lot of really good stuff came out late in the year. This is Troubled Horse, Revolution on Repeat. Another great Swedish 70s style hard rock band. Just really, really good. Yeah, don't know how much more I can say about that other than go out and check it out if you haven't already. And my number 11 and my last one for today is the latest from Venom Inc. Ave. Honestly, I did not expect anything from this when I got it. But hell's bells. The bells tolled, and it kicked my ass. This is just great. What do you just... Death metal, kinda. Classic metal, kinda. It's just...
For whom the bell tolls.
Great stuff.
Awesome fucking live band, too. First couple times I saw them, they tore through old Venom songs. I felt like my face was just going to melt off. It was unbelievable.
I mean, does it suck that we have two kind of units of Venom? We got Venom Inc. and Venom. Hopefully one day
these guys are the real deal between the two, I'd say.
I would say so, too.
Sorry,
this is Mantis and Abaddon.
Yeah, Demolition Man.
Yeah, so it kicks ass. You know what? And what I really like about it, too, it's just as pulverizing as the early Venom classics, but it's just so much better produced and more polished. And great. Those old albums are great for what they are, but man, this is just
Trump face falling down the stairs.
Oh yeah. So that's my 11 through 20. You'll get my 1 through 10 in a couple days from the Pardo residence. But Steve, you want to crawl back in here? So once again, thanks for joining us here on another end of the year edition of Best of 2017. So we're live from Rock Fantasy. We'll see you again real soon. For Steve Keeler, Nick Franco, Ryan Skow, I am Pete Pardo. Take care. Happy holidays, everybody. Listen to all this great metal. If you missed out on any of this stuff, go out and fucking get it. All right? Mm-hmm. And we'll see you again real soon.
Fucking see.
Yeah. Always. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Later.